Police have released new security footage of the suspect in the mass shooting at Brown University. So now we get to see a little bit more. At least we can see his face, although he's wearing a mask, walking around in dark clothing around that campus just hours before the killing began. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. The FBI put out this poster seeking information on the man you just saw in that new video. It describes him as being 5'8", stocky, armed, and dangerous. Well, we know that part. Offering a $50,000 reward at this point for any information that could lead to his arrest and conviction. Providence, Rhode Island's police chief.
We're going to continue to collect evidence, and if it leads us to something to that nature that's going to be extremely helpful for us to identify somebody, we'll be the first ones to put it out. I'll tell you that what I can tell you is that this individual definitely targeted Brown University.
Tributes are pouring in for the two students who died in the shooting. Ella Cook, just 19 years old, and the vice president of the school's college Republicans. Muhammad Aziz Omer Zadeh was also 18 and had immigrated to the United States from Uzbekistan. He had dreams of becoming a neurosurgeon. The Rhode Island delegation held a moment of silence on the House floor for both of them last night. Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker is coming up in focus to be with me and break all this down. Let's start with national correspondent Brian Yennis, who's in Providence. Brian.
Well, investigators say they still don't know why this gunman chose this particular classroom in the engineering and physics building behind me. They also don't know where he is or who he is, but they insist that they are making steady progress in identifying this shooter. Providence police have released those surveillance videos you just showed, Harris, and they were taken at 2 p.m. Saturday, just 2 hours before the shooting. Police don't know why this primary person of interest was walking around. The man is seen wearing a dark beanie, a surgical mask over his face, and a dark two-tone jacket. Meanwhile, there is growing frustration about this investigation. Yesterday, 24 FBI agents were searching for evidence in the snow, bushes, and shrubs on the same street where the gunman is believed to have escaped.
Why would you be now looking in the bushes for something on Waterman Street 2 days later after it snowed?
So I just answered John the same question of how investigations, they turn and lead you in a different direction. We might have used all our energies in the first few days to investigate something, and here we are now heading back to that same place to continue to investigate, and that's why you saw that, because the investigations change on a daily basis.
Today, we spoke to a recent Brown graduate who was visiting a friend inside the engineering and physics building not 30 minutes before the shooting.
I think the main thing is just the lack of communication. I think for me, that's the main thing. For instance, the only reason I even knew there was a shooting is because my friend got the alert. I wouldn't have known. So I think that's my main point of concern.
The Brown University siren alert system did not go off at the time of the shooting. These are 3 strategically placed speakers around campus. They send out an alert tone and a voice message. Again, questions as to why that did not go off. Harris?
Well, how did they get the word out? I mean, you heard that young man. It must have taken some time for him to hear it that way.
Yeah, so there were text messages or there were alerts sent out on the Brown University system. But I'd imagine because he was a recent graduate, he wasn't a recent student, so maybe he didn't get it. And there was also 311 messages. We all, those 311 messages, you have to opt into those messages, and some folks didn't.
Yeah, it's like a club, an emergency club. Good to see you. Always great reporting. Thank you, Brian. This headline from the New York Times today: everyone's on edge. Days after a deadly shooting, a community is in a standstill. Chris Swecker, former FBI Assistant Director, is with me now. First of all, learning that the siren alert system failed somehow. I mean, what does that tell you about that lack of communication and the mood on campus, as you might imagine?
Yeah, well, I do security assessments for colleges and universities, and you often see that they don't have a worldwide or global notification system. They often don't drill it, once a year or twice a year. And sometimes through attrition, as students come and go, which is a high turnover, they just don't update it. So that's one issue. The other issue is that we often find that they don't have enough cameras on college campuses. They have an issue about privacy and that sort of thing. And thirdly, they often don't secure their classrooms and their buildings with key card access or some type of restricted access. So there are some things here that they're going to have to go out, do an after-action report and make some corrections here and make some updates.
Well, you're absolutely right about those cameras. 800 of them, we're told, at least on campus. So we knew more video would come. Let's look at some of the video that police have just released. I want to get all of your top-line expert thoughts on watching this. What do you see? Chris?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I was looking for a video. First of all, they're doing they have done an intense neighborhood canvass, and having worked many bank robberies, the neighborhood canvass often reveals a lot of things. People notice strangers in their neighborhood. That video shows him in a residential neighborhood. So my guess is that they're looking for, he was probably smoking and he probably tossed something in the bushes, and there's a vehicle somewhere. So somebody had to notice him walking through the neighborhood, and possibly they have a vehicle now. They have video that's decent. It's good enough for an identification for someone who actually knows this person. If you don't know this person, you're not going to have much to work with here. But if you know them, with a $50,000 reward, I think there's a high likelihood that good, credible leads will come in off of that. A third area is the rounds that were pushed into the 9mm weapon. When you load a magazine, you use your thumb and forefinger to push the bullet into the magazine. That's a potential for fingerprints and DNA. They have, from what I understand, they have at least 40 shell casings. So out of that, they may have a fingerprint, or at least a usable fingerprint that they can run through the FBI database.
I want to concentrate on this video, which I know you have seen. He's not, like, at this point, he is kind of walking through the neighborhood, but the part where he's in front of that home, it would appear, or residence of some kind, with the gates, he's kind of pacing back and forth at one point, just kind of going back and forth, And you mentioned, here it is. Here's what I wanted to show you. He kind of stops here. He's looking at something. Now, we don't have his point of view. He puts his hands behind his back. He's got some, relax, maybe. I don't know. What's your take on it?
It looks to me like this was before the shooting. It looks to me like he's killing time and waiting for something to make his move or do what he's decided to do. That video comes from a Ring camera. It's good enough to show his mannerisms, which you pointed out, that his build, his clothing. There's enough there to work with. And you can tell, though, that maybe he's indecisive at that point. But it looks like he's just killing time in the neighborhood before he goes into the classroom.
Yeah, depending on where they are in this huge storm that just hit the East Coast, it would be interesting because it's still frigid. If you had footprints anywhere near there, you would be able to retain that. You can also, in one of the shots, see somebody walking on the opposite sidewalk. So somebody may have seen this guy and didn't even realize that he was out there. That was in that next shot that we show you. We're kind of putting all these videos together on a loop for everybody to watch. Let's get to this next point. The FBI is sharing some chilling new information on a foiled New Year's Eve terror plot that centered in Southern California. 4 members of what authorities describe as a violent anti-government group are in custody and charged with planning to blow up multiple locations. They are also suspected of plans to target immigration enforcement agents. So they want to go after ICE. The FBI says those suspects had already had enough material to make complex pipe bombs. They plan to hide them, maybe test them out in the desert. They had them in backpacks, ready to detonate them at midnight as people were ringing in the new year, because this plot was all about December 31st. Video evidence shows the 4 people in the middle of the desert last week, apparently in the final stages of building and testing the explosive devices. Law enforcement also found these disturbing signs declaring death to America, death to ICE, long live Palestine. Here's the Assistant U.S. Attorney for California's Central District.
They want to send a political message. That is what domestic terrorist groups do. They use violence to advocate for terrorism. And in fact, if you look at their posts, they think that peaceful protests are a problem. So they want to advocate violence. They're a very violent group. They want to scare people, and they want to change policy. And after they attacked the logistics centers, their next goal was to attack ICE agents and ICE officers because they thought it would scare agents from doing their jobs. So that's the type of thinking they have.
And yesterday we took part of that live, and he said they would kill as many people as possible and then scare everybody else. Your take, Chris?
Yeah, this group, even though they look like a gang that can't shoot straight, I mean, it takes me back to the 70s when we had the Weather Underground and a lot of other left-wing groups out there that had the same look to them, but they were lethal. They were robbing banks, killing police officers, setting off bombs, you know, and they were mostly left-wing groups, socialist groups, anti-government groups like this. So I think there was a really good intervention here. You want to take action before something bad happens, and in this case, the FBI did their job in the U.S. Attorney's Office, and they caught them really red-handed out in the desert testing their bombs. They didn't need to wait any longer. They needed to take action.
Turtle Island Liberation Front, the TILF. Ever heard of these guys?
I have not. I guess they're referring to the U.S. as Turtle Island. Not a big group with a lot of followers. Maybe 30 or 40, actual followers.
Oh.
But that doesn't matter. I mean, they can be incredibly lethal.
All right. Well, we appreciate you reading up on them as well. Also, the Brown University situation. Great to talk with you today, Chris Swecker.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.